Hey friends, welcome back to Theme Park Guy Productions. In today's video, I'll be ranking all the roller coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This amusement park is located in Valencia, California, which is about 15 minutes north of Los Angeles, and this park has the most roller coasters of any park in the world, with a whopping 19 roller coasters, with a 20th on its way soon. I got to ride all the major coaster credits in this park, skipping the kiddie coasters. However, I do have a great sense of what the best coasters are in this park. So without further ado, let's get started by ranking all the coasters from worst to first. Number 15, Gold Rusher. This old school Aero Mine Train is the oldest coaster in the park, dating back to 1971. However, it ran pretty well for its age. I really enjoy the terrain usage of this roller coaster, and the helixes were tons of fun. While this coaster had a bit of roughness to it, and the trains are pretty tight, it's still a fun classic and a good coaster for all ages. Number 14, Ninja. This aero suspended coaster really surprised me. I love how this coaster used the train to its advantage, and some of the interactions with the water were pretty fun. Plus, it has some great swinging and it runs quite smooth for an old 80s coaster. While I do prefer rides like the Bat at Kings Island, this roller coaster was still lots of fun and one that I highly recommend. Number 13, New Revolution. This Schwarzkopf roller coaster is arguably one of the most influential roller coasters out there, featuring the first ever vertical loop in the West Coast. Like the previous two coasters, this ride uses the terrain really well, riding over the mountains, and it goes through a tunnel. Plus, it's very smooth and the vertical loop is tons of fun. While it's not as intense as other Schwarzkopf coasters, it's still a great coaster to introduce someone to inversions. The coaster I would compare this ride to is Super Duper Looper at Hershey Park, just with a longer duration and more usage of terrain. However, I do prefer this version over Super Duper Looper at Hershey Park, and this is a great coaster that you have to ride if you're a coaster enthusiast. Number 12, Viper. This is the last remaining Aerodynamics Mega Looper, and I was shocked at how decent this coaster was. Yes, this coaster is rough and jerky in spots, but during that first half, I was blown away by how intense the loops were, and the pacing was quite fast. Plus, you get some nice hang time during the second half, and overall, the layout for this roller coaster is very strong. It's overall one of the best coasters that I've experienced from Aerodynamics. It is lower due to the roughness and just competition in the park, but I sure enjoyed Viper. Number 11, Scream. This is a B&M floorless coaster, and believe it or not, a mirrored clone of Medusa from Six Flags Great Adventure. However, this roller coaster is a bit weaker compared to Medusa. While the versions were forceful and I liked the color scheme of this ride, it definitely runs a bit rougher compared to the other floorless coasters that I have ridden, and the parking lot setting is a lot to be desired. Plus, compared to some of the other B&M coasters in the park, this one just feels like it's out of place. While I enjoyed Scream, and it would be a top coaster in any other park, the stealth competition of this park lands Scream out of the top 10, but overall, it's still a good ride that is weaker compared to the other B&Ms in the park. Number 10, West Coast Racers. This Premier Rides launch coaster is one of the two Mobius loop coasters in the park, which is one track that connects to two sides, so you get twice the thrill. Going into this coaster, I was very surprised by how punchy and fast you take these elements. Plus, the launches are fun, and the dueling features are super cool. The reason I don't have this coaster higher is due to the comfort collars. They sort of hurt my neck in a way, and it just wasn't the most pleasant restraint system. However, I really was surprised by this roller coaster, and it is one of the best Premier coasters that I have done so far. Number 9, Batman the Ride. This is a B&M inverted coaster that is a clone of the various Batman the Ride coasters all over the Six Flags chain and the world. And like the other clones, this one is very whippy, compact, and intense. With these clones, I love how many positive G-forces you pull on this roller coaster and how these rides make your legs feel numb. Well, yes, this is a clone coaster. It is a fantastic clone, and it is not a real Six Flags day without a ride on Batman the Ride. Number 8, Goliath. This is a rare Giant Vanilla hypercoaster, one of the two found in the US, the other being Titan at Six Flags Over Texas. While I didn't expect much from this roller coaster, I was pleasantly surprised by how fun Goliath was. While this coaster didn't deliver any airtime, I was very impressed with how smooth this coaster was. It ran like butter, and with this coaster being 25 years old, I was so shocked that this coaster is smoother than some of the B&M hypers out there. Plus, the turns were forceful, especially the final helix being one of the most intense turns that I have ever experienced. If you go to this coaster with the right expectations, you'll truly enjoy this coaster. Don't expect the airtime, just expect some great intensity, and you'll really like this ride. Number 7, the Riddler's Revenge. This is by far the greatest old school B&M stand-up coaster that I've ever experienced. What makes this ride so great is how amazing the layout is. This layout is very large and the inversions are surprisingly smooth. Plus, this coaster has a real roar to it, and I love how this coaster zooms right by these cardboard cutouts during the second half. It almost made me think of something like Kumba from Busch Gardens Tampa, if that was a stand-up coaster. Plus, like I said, it's super smooth. Think of like if you took Green Lantern from Brave Adventure's layout, which a lot of people don't like, and put the smoothness of Georgia Scorcher to it, then you get Riddler's Revenge. But the thing is, this coaster knocks both of those out of the water. Overall, this is one of the most underrated roller coasters out there, and a coaster that I feel like every coaster enthusiast has to ride at some point. Number 6, Apocalypse the Ride. This is the park's GCI wooden roller coaster, and don't let the size of this coaster fool you. This ride packs a punch. The pacing is very fast, you go through these airtime hills and sharp turns at such fast speeds, and this roller coaster is just aggressive. I was so surprised after I got off Apocalypse. Plus, it has some really cool tunnels and a station flyby. Just think of something like maybe like a West Coast version of Thunderhead from Dollywood. And plus, the theming is surprisingly good for a Six Flags park. It definitely is one of the better GCI roller coasters that I've experienced, and one roller coaster that you should not underestimate. Number 5, Full Throttle. This is the other Premier Rides launch coaster in the park, and out of the Premier Rides roller coasters that I currently have experienced, this one is definitely the best. For starters, the loop is massive and you get some insane hang time going through this loop. I felt like I was hanging for an eternity. I also enjoyed the terrain usage of this roller coaster, and the launches were tons of fun. Plus, there was a nice surprise backwards launch, which I did appreciate. While the ending was pretty dumb, as I wish there was more after the big drop, this is still one fantastic roller coaster and one of the best roller coasters at this park. Number 4, Tatsu. This is the park's B&M flying coaster, and I was very impressed with this roller coaster overall. Like many of the other coasters in this park, this coaster uses the terrain to its advantage as it swoops and twists through the sky. Plus, the pretzel loop is one of the single most intense inversions that I have ever experienced on any roller coaster. Now, I do prefer Manta from SeaWorld Orlando over Tatsu due to the theming and overall the complete package. However, I still love Tatsu for its layout, and this is one roller coaster that is not to be missed if you go to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Number 3, Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. This is the park's RMC single roller coaster, and having been on Jersey Devil Coaster from Six Flags Great Adventure, I already had high expectations going into this roller coaster, and it still exceeded every one of them. While the layout is mostly the same, the pacing was significantly faster compared to Jersey Devil Coaster, which allowed the airtime and inversions to hit way faster. Plus, the layout is slightly extended, having a couple of more elements compared to its predecessor. I even enjoyed some of the theming in the queue line. Overall, this is the best RMC single roller coaster that I have experienced, and one coaster that is a must for all coaster enthusiasts. Number 2, Twisted Colossus. This is the park's RMC hybrid coaster and the other Mobius loop in the park, and all I gotta say is that this roller coaster is killer. I loved how sharp and violent the ejector airtime pops were, and the inversions were tons of fun. Plus, the fact that there are 2 sides adds to the duration, giving you a nice long ride. Now, I unfortunately did not get the legendary dueling ride that this coaster offers, but I was really darn close, and I still will not forgive Six Flags for messing up my dueling ride. Grrr! Just kidding. I knew going in that a dueling ride on this coaster is pretty rare nowadays, and I still love this coaster for what it was. It's overall one of the better RMCs out there and a top coaster in my books. Number 1, X2. This is the park's Aerodynamics 4D coaster, and I don't know what it is about this freaking ride, but this is seriously one of the most screwed up roller coasters that I've ever experienced in the best way possible. For starters, the flipping sensation is just insane. While it isn't a free spin, getting flipped around at 70 miles per hour is truly something you have to experience to get a full thought out of it. It's like working out on a roller coaster, and I seriously question how this ride is even legal. Plus, this coaster has some really cool fire effects towards the end of the ride that I really enjoyed. Yeah, some of the flipping sensations were a bit jarring at points, however, it truly added to the out-of-control sensation that this coaster gives. It's overall one of the most intense and most out-of-control roller coasters I have ever experienced, one of the best coasters that I've ridden, and my favorite coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain. To summarize this video up, there are so many incredible roller coasters to choose from at the thrill capital of the world, from big thrills like X2, Tatsu, or Twisted Colossus, to some of the easier thrills like Ninja or New Revolution. This park has something for everyone, and is one of the best parks to visit if you're looking to get that roller coaster feeling in. And without further ado, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe as well for more videos in the future if you enjoy this one. And don't forget to turn on those post notifications so you know when to upload a new video. And as always, make sure to check out Theme Park Guide Productions as well on all social media platforms. The tree will be in the description below. I will see you guys next time, and as always, you are clear for dispatch.